Let's break it down. When British police arrest a senior royal, the brother of the king, it's not just a tabloid moment, it's a constitutional moment. Because the real question isn't only what he may have done, it's what this signals about accountability, institutional credibility, and whether the UK's old rules still protect the powerful. Today, UK police arrested Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The case is being linked in reporting to his past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and allegations around what information may have been shared during Andrew's period as a UK trade envoy. Now, after that setup, I'm Imran, a Middle East-based analyst. And today we're going to unpack what happened, what this charge actually means, why this is happening now, the incentives on all sides, the scenarios ahead, and what to watch next. First, the context. Prince Andrew has been under reputational collapse for years because of his ties to Epstein. He stepped back from public royal duties, lost honorary military roles and patronages, and in 2022, he settled a civil lawsuit in the United States without admitting wrongdoing. But until now, the story largely sat in the space of public scandal, civil litigation, and unanswered questions, and not a criminal arrest in the UK. That's why this is different. Now, what happened? Thames Valley Police said they arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and that searches were being carried out at addresses in Berkshire and Norfolk. Multiple major outlets report that the arrested individual is Andrew. Reporting suggests investigators are looking at allegations that, while serving as a government trade envoy, Andrew may have shared confidential or sensitive government information with Epstein, and that renewed attention came after a fresh wave of Epstein-related material became public in early 2026. It's also important to say this clearly. An arrest on suspicion is not a conviction. It does not prove guilt. It means police believe there is enough basis to detain, question, and search, and then decide whether the evidence supports a charge. Now, why does misconduct in public office matter? In simple terms, it's about abusing a position of public trust. It's not a small technicality charge. It's used when prosecutors believe someone in public office acted in a way that seriously breached the standards expected of them, and the potential penalties can be severe. So the stakes here are high, legally, politically, and culturally. Now let's do the incentives, because that explains the timing and the messaging. For police, the incentive is to demonstrate institutional independence. If you don't act when credible allegations exist, especially after new material becomes public, you create the perception of a two-tier system. One law for ordinary citizens, another for elites. That's corrosive. For the monarchy, the incentive is survival through separation. The palace cannot be seen as shielding anyone. That's why the public line is, the law must take its course, cooperate if asked, and do not interfere. Because the monarchy's modern legitimacy rests on being symbolic, not political, and not above accountability. For anti-monarchy groups and activists, the incentive is momentum. A royal arrest becomes a proof point for their argument that the institution has operated with protection and privilege. Expect them to push for broader inquiries and full transparency. For the public, the incentive is clarity. People want a clean answer. Was there criminal misuse of office, or is this a case that looks serious in headlines but falls apart under evidentiary standards? Now the scenarios. Scenario 1. No charge or a narrower outcome. Police may question, review seized material, and conclude the threshold for charging is not met. That would not clear every reputational issue, but it would limit the legal consequences. Scenario 2, formal charges and a long legal process. If prosecutors believe evidence meets the bar, you could see charges followed by a slow grind of court steps, hearings, disclosure, legal challenges, and enormous public scrutiny. This becomes not just a personal case, but an institutional stress test for the UK. Scenario 3, spillover into wider investigations. If new evidence intersects with other names, networks, or official processes, this could broaden either through additional arrests, requests for cooperation, or renewed international attention tied to Epstein-related material. Now, what should you watch next? Watch the charging decision and the language around it. Police statements and prosecutor decisions will tell you whether this is being treated as a contained issue or a doorway into something larger. Watch what the searches produce. In cases like this, the evidentiary story often pivots on documents, communications, and proof of intent, not rumor, not association, not I heard. Watch how the royal family manages distance. If the palace keeps reinforcing cooperation and non-interference, it's signaling it prioritizes institutional credibility over family protection. And watch the information environment. This story will be flooded with fake lists, edited screenshots, and partisan narratives. Your filter has to be simple. Allegation is not evidence, and evidence is not verdict until tested in court. Here's the takeaway. A royal arrest is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a legal process that will either validate the claims with proof or expose them as insufficient for prosecution. Either way, the deeper shift is already visible. In 2026, status no longer guarantees immunity, and that's the kind of change that reshapes how power works. If this breakdown helped, hit like, subscribe, and share it. And comment below, do you think this becomes a narrow case about alleged misconduct, or the start of a wider accountability moment linked to the Epstein fallout?